nabbing his second career PALracing pole, Jacob Alicia, and that 31 machine, and look who's right behind him in P2, Mr. Matthew Heel. Both these cars battling it out for the championship, and as soon as we load in to the grid, we will get Jacob Alicia up here. Jacob Alicia, this is Noah up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey Noah, good copy.
Well, Jacob, you go ahead and put that 31 machine on pole again this season. And to your outside is Matthew Heel. Go ahead and give us a little bit of insight on what the strategy may be for this Dover race and how you think the race is going to go.
Well, Dover absolutely destroys tires, especially if you push the car too hard. So those that are racing hard, you're going to see a lot of comers and goers. Just keeping the car clean, letting the equipment take you to where you need to go, keeping it nice and clean so it protects you is going to be key.
1 to green. That means we need to go ahead and get our go time music. Ladies and gentlemen, 17 cars are going to make the field at Dover. Jacob Alicia hunting for that championship. Matthew Hill trying to defend the top spot. They roll out of turn 4, and it's going to be green flag at Dover. Big wiggles out of the entire field. They stack up behind, and that's going to allow Matthew Heel to get the jump to the outside. And right off the bat, Matthew Heel is going to clear Jacob Alicia. Down the backstretch, they fan out. Matthew Hill retains the lead. Jacob Alicia behind. You can see Christian Snyder found his way into the top 3 after the restart debacle. Continue to run this bottom line is kind of sending some dirty air to Jacob Alicia, and he does back off just about 2 tenths. Look back, we do have a big battle for around 8th to 9th. Douglas Henry, Timothy Perryman at 41. There's Barrett Powell just behind him in the 4 car. And Greg Judd just behind them. But Douglas Henry looking to have another good point stay. He looks well off in our championship run. We know he will miss the season finale as of right now, but still good to finish up there in the top of the points. Look at this. Greg Judd, Barrett Powell, Timothy Perryman, as well as Anthony Callahan and Luke Chadwick. 5 cars running together. Timothy Perryman on the wall. Anthony Callahan puts the bumper to him. Nowhere to go. That's going to slow down both cars. The 13 backed out of it, letting the 41 regroup, and that's going to hurt Anthony Callahan quite a bit as he drops to 13th. 3 races left in the season. Darlington, your grand finale is where we'll crown a champion. And a driver that's already looking like a champion is the 53 of Matthew Heel. He has 2 wins this season, and some could argue that he should have maybe a 3rd. And if it wasn't for a little mishap that happened at the Glen, possibly a 4th being the quickest car. Look back towards the front. Matthew Heel under attack by Jacob Alicia. That 31 car is already caught up to Mr. Heel. Looking for the lead. They're about halfway through this fuel run. And Jacob Alicia is going to have Matthew Heel halfway down the backstretch. Enters very shallow, checks it up a little bit, tries to get back to the throttle, but there's not enough room. Matthew Heel is going to close the door in the center of the corner and continue to lead it down the back straight. And just putting his car right where Alicia wants to have his nose. Taking away that clean air, grabbing the preferred line, and that is allowing Matthew Heel to retain this lead as they come up on Mark Averett. Lap car. Jacob Alicia now looking to the inside of Matthew Heel, looking for the lead. Jacob Alicia, door to door, out of turn 4. He has him at his door, not quite even, but with Mark Averett kind of in the way, he's going to jump to the outside. He gives these cars both room, but that is going to allow Jacob Alicia to clear Matthew Heel, and now 31 car back to the lead. 53 of Matthew Heel looking to do just what he did on lap 1 and pass the 31. But I just don't know if he quite has enough. If he had a lot of tire to really defend, we would have saw him retain the lead. But
Yellow flag is out.
And we have a caution mark around in the wall. And I'm getting information. Chris Warren involved as well. Let's take a look at the replay from the perspective of Chris Warren. There's Mark, his teammate, in the third line. Oh, Mark comes off the wall and collects Chris Warren. Let's watch that again. This is the cockpit of Mark Averett. You can see he's already tight on the brakes. Can't keep it off the wall. Just how sloped the corner is going to collect Chris. And watch this impact, center of the wall. In the meantime, it appears Matthew Heel has retained the lead. What has happened to Jacob Alicia? Jacob Alicia is just now exiting pit road. I wonder if he had an issue. Oh, he has big rear end damage. Did something happen under caution? Oh, what is Dustin Alexander doing? Dustin Alexander was not quite aware of what was happening. But all of your favorites and all of your contenders are still here and still here to run. You can see Jacob Alicia just in the back right side of your frame rejoining the field. He's going to have to work his way up through, but I'm sure it'll be fun to watch. He has the speed being your pole sitter, but it's Matthew Heel that is in command. Christian Snyder, too, is outside. Douglas Henry in third. As they go through the restart zone, it'll be Matthew Heels to dictate when they go. Looks like he goes on the green flag, gets a good jump, and I just saw Luke Chadwick go sideways, maybe up into Timothy Perryman, but he seems to be fine. Back towards the front, Matthew Hill already with a lead. There's Christian Snyder, Douglas Henry, Jonathan Green trapped on the outside. He bounces off the wall, into the wall just a bit. Anthony Callahan dives to the bottom to get away from him, trying to take advantage of that mistake. He may take fifth. Yes, he does. And Barrett Powell might funnel himself into sixth. Yes, he does. And Jonathan Green from fourth to seventh. Got to hit your marks on these restarts, or that's what will happen. And already Jacob Alicia making his way up through the field. He's already passed 4 cars so far. Looking for Timothy Perryman back into the top 10. Still big damage on the rear end of that car, but at a short track like Dover, it is a little aerodynamic depending, but I'm sure he'll be fine because there's always speed in that machine. Look at Douglas Henry in the back end of Christian Snyder. Douglas looking for his RP to get around that 32 car. We know that car has a lot of speed no matter what track we go to. A great driver, and he wants to showcase his ability here at Dover. Late in the season, get as much points as possible and have your name at the top of that point sheet as he goes to second. Meanwhile, Douglas Henry once again challenging Matthew Heel for this lead. But I did just get a signal that we may have cars entering pit road. Luke Chadwick is spun and around, entering pit road. Let's take a look at the replay. What just happened to Luke Chadwick entering pit road? He has some left front damage. Locks it up, trying to keep it under speed. Bumps into the barrels. Those are going to do good damage to that car. We aren't sure what happened with that left front damage. Crash with that internet. We don't know. The last lap he did pit. I'm assuming he has just beat everybody during the pit road cycle and is your official leader. He needs to focus on saving tires, guys. You got to do 50 laps on these tires. He's going to run it out, with the exception of that one caution we had around lap 30 as Jacob Alicia into the wall, the same spot Matthew Heel made contact. It's been a clean green race so far, and it's going to be a race based off of how well you can maintain those tires. How consistent can you be on speed, and can you make it to the end? We know they're good on fuel, but as these tires get worn out and it gets slick, you don't want to be making mistakes. There's Matthew Heel exiting, and there's Anthony Callahan in the center of the backstretch going into turns 3 and 4. Matthew Heel, every lap just gets closer and closer to being in the center of the picture. So much speed in that 53 Mustang, and now is just running down the 13 Gravedigger. He gets a good run down this back stretch. He looks high. Anthony goes low. He knows that's Matthew's preferred line, so he's going to take it away and give him some dirty air. Matthew looked high for a second and looked like and he had a little bit of an advantage, but now big sideways move out of turn 4, and that's going to allow Matthew Heel to completely clear Anthony Callahan. And Anthony already looking back towards the bottom. I don't know if he quite has it in him in that car to be able to battle back and retake the lead. But Matthew Heel is now having to defend on that top side, and he's not quite that quick up there. Sure, he made the pass, but that's because Anthony Callahan was all over the place, back and sideways. And look at Anthony Callahan saying, I'm not going to give up just yet, battling to the inside of Matthew Heel, looking for the lead. He's still not quite even. Bumper at his door, and Matthew Heel is now completely clear. See Douglas, that car is just stuck on exit really well. He's able to keep it nice and flowy through the corners. You're not seeing him step out a bit. That car isn't sideways. They might have 0x'd each other just a slight there, but no harm, no foul. Douglas Henry is going to make the pass on Christian Snyder. And now with 20 laps to go, he's going to run down Anthony Callahan, but does he have enough to get up to Matthew Heel? We'll see what kind of advantage Douglas Henry has in terms of tires over the cars in front of him. You know, Anthony Callahan fell off just a little bit, but Douglas Henry is able to close that gap quickly. Christian Snyder just ran out of rubber, ran out of clean air to make a pass. And Douglas Henry is already looking at the bottom of Anthony Callahan, showing a nose in. Runs it into the corner. He will clear Anthony Callahan, and now Douglas Henry, 2-second gap off of Matthew Heel. Does he have enough time? Does he have enough rubber to be able to run down our leader? There's a difference. There's Matthew Heel, and there's Douglas Henry. 6/10 gap in just 8 laps. Now down to 4th. What just happened? Is it the dirty air in front of Matthew Heel? 2 lap cars in front of him running side by side. Douglas Henry has now just gained a couple of tenths on Matthew Heel. 7 laps to go. Aaron Warren in front of Matthew Heel, basically blocking him. There's nowhere for Matthew to go. Aaron Warren, he's trying to battle the 25 of Jaron Mayo for position. That's a whole nother race in itself. And now they're 3 wide, going to turns 3 and 4. Douglas Henry in the middle, looking to the outside of Matthew Heel. The battle for the lead is underway. The winner will take home the checkered flag. This is for all the marbles. Douglas Henry to the bottom, gives a wiggle to Matthew Heel. Matthew shoots up the track, into the wall, and Douglas Henry is your new leader. 6 laps to go. Douglas Henry to the lead. Does Matthew Heel have anything left in that 53 machine to defend? Sending it down to turns 3 and 4. Now he knows all bets are off. He's able to put the bumper to the 66. That's already been stated, but how far are you going to push it? 66 of Doug Henry running that middle lane. Matthew Heel drifting up, kind of following in his tire tracks. 3/10 gap. Douglas Henry coming up on 5 laps to go is your leader. And I don't know if Matthew Heel has enough to get by him. It's been eventful, taken out of Kansas in a gnarly wreck, but still able to bounce back and be second in our points running. Douglas Henry here at the Blue Hen 150 is going to pick up the win at Dover, and Douglas Henry is a winner in the PALracing League. Welcome to the history books, buddy. And you may have just shot yourself to the top of the point standings. Douglas Henry, your winner. Matthew Heel, second. Christian Snyder comes across third once again. Anthony Callahan in the 13 car. What a hustle he had. He finishes 4th. Jacob Alicia, your pole sitter, battles back to 5th. Jonathan Green making his 2nd race in the PALracing League is 6th. Raymond Wimmer, a lap down, is going to be 7th. Greg Joden, 8th. Jared Mayo, 9th. And Gary Smoke will round out the top 10. And ladies and gentlemen, Douglas Henry in your 66 K&N machine, picking up a win this season in the PALracing League. He's got to be stoked. We're going to watch him burn it down, and we'll get an interview from him as he goes to the front stretch. And we'll watch him paint this concrete. Contact with the wall. You'll give it another try. Congratulations, Mr. Douglas Henry. Let's go ahead and pull him up into the call. Douglas Henry, this is Noah up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Solid copy, sir.
Well, Douglas, you finally bring home a win in the PALracing Series. Go ahead and tell everybody, what does it mean to you to be a winner here in PAL?
I didn't think I would get one this season with the competition that's in this league, and I think it's just because I stayed out longer than Matt, and that's paid off for me in the end.
Tell us about 7 to go there, making that pass for the lead, go up the middle in between the lap cars. You might have made a little bit of contact with Matthew in turn 4. Tell us about what are the decisions you make behind the wheel. What's going through your head there in the last few laps, knowing that you may have a shot to win?
Honestly, I blacked out. I had so much adrenaline pumping, just kind of crazy on a video game. But I sent it up there. I tried to stay off Matt. I hope I didn't mess him up too much. Yeah, I'm surprised I got through that.
Alrighty, congratulations, Douglas. We'll see you later in the celebration lane. Have fun, celebrate hard, and congratulations. That's 2 in a row for Warren Brothers Racing.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Let's go ahead and pull in our second place finisher, Matthew Heel in the 53 machine. Matthew, this is Noah up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I do.
Well, Matthew, not quite the result you wanted and not what you were looking for, but go ahead and give us a rundown of how the race went for you from that green flag start there where the bottom lane got a little messed up and you were able to take the lead early, battling back from being outside of what was the pit cycle, and then, of course, making your way to the lead there on that final stop, all the way till lap, 147, battling with Douglas Henry.
Yeah, you definitely got that one. Definitely not the result we were looking for. Just pretty disappointed. The Chef Colin Mobile was super, super fast again today. I'm not sure I had anything with the 31. I feel bad the deal that happened to him, but after he got that little bit of damage, I pretty much had control of the race there, and just I don't know what happened there. I got a bit of the wall. I think I had a little bit of wall contact damage. It just slowed me down a bit. It's going to be a pretty good finish there coming to the end. I seen Douglas was coming there with about 10 to go, and I hate that I got held up by a lap car and he got by me. I'm glad he didn't turn me or wreck me, because I was manhandling that car all the way down the front straightaway. Wasn't trying to throw a block on him at all. It's just out of control there. Just disappointed that a lap car kind of ruined what could have been a really good finish with a couple laps to go. But it is what it is. I mean, P2, you can't be too disappointed with P2, but that's 2 finishes, 2 finishes in this league where I've been leading with a couple laps to go and had to take it away. Not that it was anything dirty or anything, but it's just a little disappointing, or a little disappointed with myself. So we'll take it. I'm happy for Douglas. He's always been, in the league. He's always been a trooper there. I'm glad he was able to skirt away with his win, but just disappointed.
Well, Matthew, thank you so much for being a good sport. I'm going to have to throw you back down in your call. Where's your confidence level now going into Talladega?
I don't know. It's Talladega. Anything could happen. I've built up a pretty good points lead going into it, so I mean, I'm pretty much as happy as, or not as happy. I'm as good as I can be going into it. It's just pretty much surviving Talladega. If we can survive Talladega with a good result, I really think the championship's going to be in sight. But I haven't marked anything down yet. Just hoping we get lucky.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Matthew. Congratulations on P2 and for leading laps here. You're looking good in the points.
Thank you.
And we're going to go ahead and grab your third place finisher once again, finding himself finishing top 3. Christian Snyder, Cowboy Noah up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, Christian, third place, like I said, once again, You were able to stay up front and stay clean. How'd the race go for you, and what's your confidence level going into Talladega, knowing you may need a win to be able to solidify yourself as a champion around the end of the season?
Now, what I need is that Matthew Heel guy to wreck at Talladega, and then wreck in Iowa, and then probably wreck at Darlington. Maybe then I might have a shot at a
Well, I don't know
championship.
if it's that drastic. You definitely still have a good chance. You are in the running. We are labeling you a contender at this point. But, yeah, anything can happen to Matthew Heel as well as the cars in front of you. But for the most part, you had this 32 machine very consistent all season long. You've been quick, and you've most importantly stayed clean. Go ahead and plug your league that you have going on, your next Air Racing League. We want to hear about that, and we'll go ahead and we'll wrap this broadcast up.
Yeah, you're going to be broadcasting it tomorrow, the season opener at Daytona. Can't wait. I'm really excited. More than likely, around 20 to 25 cars going to be there, so it's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm just absolutely sore from this race. This was probably the most ill-handling car all season, but it was so much fun. The concrete just was really slick. I think it was 125-degree track temp at one point. This was a blast, but tomorrow it's going to be nothing but full throttle and drafting, so can't wait.
All righty. Thank you so much, Chris. Congratulations on the top 3. You're looking good in the points. We're going to go ahead and wrap this broadcast up.
Thank you. Have a good night.
And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, that is the Delaware Blue Hen at Dover. Race 6 is now in the books. Make sure you guys join us next Tuesday, same time, same place, for what will be the Talladega Derby, the first iteration. This big marquee event is going to be sought after for the continuous series of PAL for as long as we do it. Winner will go down and gloriously famed in the history books. And like Christian said, tomorrow, season opener of the next Era Racing League. It will be streamed on here, but I encourage you guys to go over to Longyear Live and tune in on that personal channel, but we'll have it up on PALracing League for the opener. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for the Delaware Blue Hen. Sorry for the technical difficulties with the internet happening around the beginning of the race, but it was a great finish. Have a good night.